everyone, it's Miss Brenner. I hope you're all doing well and staying happy and healthy. I'm here to go over your week 6 agenda. So for starters, last week you were working on your Midsummer Night's Dream project. This is at the top, the green folder, where you would put your final copy. So after reviewing other students' comments as far as things they recommend that you change in your script or in your project, this is where you would put your final copy. So please post a shareable link to your project that can be viewed by anyone with the link. This will be your final copy of the project and will be graded using the project rubric. Just a reminder, I know that you completed the video about plagiarism and I don't want to say too much about it. However, in the past, I have had issues where students take other people's links and say that it's theirs when it's very evidently not, and somebody worked hard on that project that was not them. There will be no slack or extra time given for anybody that takes someone else's project. It will be an automatic 0 and will immediately be reported to administration. So I don't want to have any issues with that, and I want only honesty in this class. So please do yourself a favor. If you are struggling with this project, please contact me. I would be happy to give you advice and to help you in any way that I can, but I am in no way, shape, or form going to be lenient with people that are taking other people's projects. Alrighty, so back to the agenda. Activity 1 is notes, for the most part. We're looking at the evolution of science fiction as a genre through Edpuzzle, illusion notes that I do through Edpuzzle. There were a couple times in the notes that I misspoke. I think at one point I was trying to say so on and so forth, and I said force. Please forgive me. I didn't have enough coffee yet this morning. So there are a couple times where I say things that kind of sound off, and I don't know, can't get it together this morning to say things right. So literary devices would be the Edpuzzle that you would watch after the notes that we listened to about illusion. These are going to be further examples using Disney to demonstrate illusion in literature. Activity 2 is time travel. So we are going to be moving into our technology science fiction unit. So we are going to be looking at possible forms of scientific discovery that either currently are impacting society or could possibly impact society in the future. So the concept of time travel is where we're going to start. We are going to be reading A Sound of Thunder, which some of you may have already read. If you have, I ask that you reread it. If you haven't, it's a wonderful story by Ray Bradbury. I'm having a hard time this morning. All right, and then our other story I'm expecting that you have not ever heard of or read is Time Locker. This one is, I think there's a couple unpreferable words. I did not edit the story. If language that is slightly on the adult side is uncomfortable for you, please contact me. I will find you another story. But as of right now, we are doing Time Locker and Sound of Thunder. Our discussion post for the time travel activity is to answer both of the questions below in a minimum of 150 words. Both of these stories use time travel to shape the plot of the story. However, the stories and events described are very different. Which story better upheld your expectations related to the concept of time travel, and which story fell short? Use evidence from both stories to support your opinion. And then part 2, in these stories, the protagonist finds themselves in a difficult situation, either due to their own selfish actions or due to the greedy and selfish nature of humanity. Based on this common theme and evidence from the story, do you think that some powers, either technology-based or supernatural-based, are beyond the capacity of moral responsibility for the human psyche? So those are the questions that we are going to be answering as far as related to time travel and the plot narratives of our 2 stories in our discussion post. You do not need to comment on another student's post. I am simply asking that you complete the minimum of 150 words responding to those 2 questions. Along with Time Locker, we are still going to be working with foreshadowing. So we have our foreshadowing chart with our different forms of foreshadowing listed at the top, as well as illusion. Remember, you're going to want to reference your notes that you took on illusion. So if you need to go back and look at those Edpuzzles, they are available. we are looking for 5 examples of illusion in the story. I don't believe I said it in my personal illusion notes, but it is said in the Disney example illusion notes. Please, if you think that the author is making an illusion, Google it. It takes just a quick Google and you will better understand what the author is trying to say about a character, about the thematic scheming of the story, about where the plot is going. You will better understand the story, and it just takes a quick Google to get the inside joke that the author is making. So this is our illusion diagram, and what I ask for you to do is find me an example you can quote or paraphrase from the story and post that example here. You're telling me what form of illusion, whether that's plot development, character development, or context in this column, and then explaining how this moment could change or shape the underlying meaning of our story, like plot arc, or more closely the individual character arc. That would be dependent upon plot development, character development, or context. And then explain the impact this moment has on you as a reader. So if you understood the inside joke right away, it might be a little bit easier. If you had to go Google it, just tell me that you had to go Google it and then explain how you think, based off of what you found in Google, how it impacts the mood or the tone of the story overall. Alrighty. So that is activity 2. Activity 3, we're looking at teleportation. The Jaunt is the story that we will be reading by Stephen King for Teleportation. So you're going to watch this ed puzzle. There is an audiobook version of The Jaunt, and I also linked the PDF for The Jaunt. The reason this is just a link to YouTube and not an ed puzzle is because it has been taken down 3 times this year already. And so I've remade the ed puzzle 3 times. I'm afraid that if I made it into an ed puzzle and linked it for you, it would get taken down in the middle of the week, and I don't want that to happen to you. So the audio is here, and your reading questions are here, just like we would do for an ed puzzle. If you are uncomfortable with adult language, the Jaunt, it contains a good amount of adult language because the characters get themselves into uncomfortable situations quite often in the story, and therefore they use expletives to express their discomfort in the situation that they are in. So, if that makes you uncomfortable, please let me know. I will find you a different story. We have our reading questions for the Jaunt. They are in slide format. They look like this. There is a warning that, once again, it contains adult language. So, please contact me if you need assistance, and then you have our questions like this. Oh, sorry, wrong thing. I clicked the wrong thing. All right, and then our foreshadowing and illusion chart. So just like we had for time travel, we have the same chart for teleportation. You're looking for examples of foreshadowing in the story between pages 1 and 7, and then between pages 1 and 16, we are looking for illusions. I don't think I said that for the time travel one. For foreshadowing, we're looking between pages 1 and 12, and between pages 1 and 20 for illusion for time locker. Alrighty, and that brings us to our last assignment for the week, which is our silent reading reflection. Identify 2 examples of foreshadowing within your silent reading selection. Explain what form these examples can be categorized as, and make a prediction as to how this will impact your story. Your initial post should be a minimum of 50 words, and then you are to comment on one other student's post in a etiquette appropriate manner with a minimum of 25 words. So that is all. Those are all of the assignments for this week, for week 6. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at the end of this week, week 6, which means these assignments are due on the 11th of October. Weeks 3 and 4, the assignments, if you are missing them, will close for being able to turn them in for late points. So please make sure that you are either contacting me if you need more time or if you need support, or that you are contacting me to say, hey, I turned in something and you missed grading it. Could you please make sure it gets graded? Because if it's an ed puzzle and you turned it in late, it doesn't notify me to grade it. And so I try to make sure on a regular basis I'm going through the large grid of different grades, making sure that everything is getting graded. But I, just like other human beings, make mistakes. I try to work with you when you make mistakes. Please work with me when I make mistakes and I accidentally miss grading something for you. I would be happy to make any changes that need to be done so that way it is rectified. Alrighty, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm sorry this agenda was so long. Have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.